you guys found door 1.
Hello there guys, Billabo10000 here, bringing you another episode of 999, and it seems like Santa and Lotus have found door number 1. Let's continue the story and see how this is going to unfold. They'd met back up with Santa and Lotus, who had explained what they'd found. Apparently there was another numbered door on A deck, just like the one on E deck beyond the door that the Earth Key opened. According to Santa and Lotus, there was a 1 on the door.
So now we've located 2 new doors, the 6 door and the 1 door.
You know, it is interesting that E-Deck wasn't flooded.
Lotus was quiet for a moment, lost in thought.
Well, we don't really know if all of E-Deck is safe.
We kind of hope it is, but we don't actually know.
We only checked the area around the elevator.
Even so, it's still very interesting.
You said the 6th door was there, right?
Yep, the 6th door is sitting there ready to be used.
Yes.
Let me just quickly do something. Sorry if this makes any noises for you guys. There we go.
Then that means Zero planned all this out, even the sinking. That would have meant some pretty serious remodeling of the ship's interior.
It really would. It's pretty clear from the get-go that Zero is seriously trying to set up something seriously elaborate. Everything in this ship has been remodeled. You can clearly see that.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, I wonder how long it took. I can't even imagine how much it must have cost.
I think it goes back to the idea, I think Ace said it ages ago, that this could be the work of an organization and not the work of a single person.
It would have been a ton, that's for sure.
Well, that does go along with what Ace was saying.
Yeah.
The most reasonable explanation would be that this was done by some organization with access to a whole lot of cash.
Yes, it does make sense.
More sense than anything else. That thought made them all go quiet for a moment. June bit her lip while Lotus sighed softly to herself. Santa cracked a stiff neck and stared off into the distance at nothing.
Yeah?
I don't think it's a very good idea to stay here.
June looked up at Junpei with large pleading eyes.
Yeah, you're right. Ace and his team might be back already.
Let's go.
Well, Junpei and I should be able to open door 1.
Huh? You guys leaving me behind?
8 plus 6 plus 5 equals 19. Yep, that goes all the way to 1, yep.
Just kidding.
Huh.
Alright, let's go.
Lotus's words were all the impetus they needed. Back to the hospital room they went, and this time I think she genuinely was kidding. She was saying it and she knew that Santa was going to say something else, so it's good that she's just using it to gauge people's reactions, because I think that's what she's all about. Fingers crossed they're back. A tremendous voice echoed across the room.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
It was 7.
7?
Oh no. Oh no, something's happened. Ace was right behind him and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment they simply stood there looking at one. Oh no, something's happened to Snake, hasn't it? Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did. He looked at 7.
What happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
Very good question. We don't know what happened. Don't give a shit if you're traumatized. You need to fucking tell us. 7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him. Hard. His shoulders were trembling and his voice was strained.
Snake is...
He couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by... Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is... dead.
Fuck. 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 Oh no. I barely got to experience the character. Oh no.
He died, just as the 9th man did.
Oh, fuck. But if he died in the same way as the 9th man, that means he went through a numbered door. He would have had to go through a numbered door with somebody else registering at the red, and he would have had to go in on his own. So that means at least 2 people here have betrayed them and led Snake to his death. It was as if all the air had suddenly been sucked out of the room. Junpei felt his heartbeat quicken and he realized he was having trouble breathing. He could feel cold sweat beading on his forehead and neck. June, Santa, and Lotus looked the way he felt. All 3 were frozen in place, their faces white.
Oh my god, that's not true, is it?
We should make sure.
Yeah, right. We should.
They nodded to one another and headed for the number 3 door.
Wait, not that way.
What? What?
They stopped short and turned to look at 7. He was pointing at the door with no number. Oh, did they, keep it cracked open or something?
I stuck a screwdriver in there to keep the door from closing all the way. It's not locked, so you can go in that way.
Where is he?
The shower room. The left side of the hallway.
Fuck.
I put a broom in there too to keep the door open.
That means we can get in without going through the numbered door, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then let's go.
Their new destination clear, Junpei and his companions headed for the door with no number. Oh, poor Clover. Here we go.
This wasn't open when we passed here before.
But now, just as 7 had said, there was a broom stuck between the door and the frame, keeping it open.
Well, let's keep going.
They looked at it for a moment, then stepped inside.
Oh, it smells horrible.
Oh no. Lotus wrinkled her nose and covered her mouth in disgust. Even Santa pinched his nose shut.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
It was just as bad as they said, perhaps worse. A hideous smell filled the air, so thick they could almost taste it. It was sour and smelled of fish, feces, and burnt meat. It worked its way through Junpei's nose and down his throat to pound against the entrance to his stomach. He put his hands over his mouth and struggled to keep what little was in his stomach where it belonged.
Where is he? Where's Snake?
Oh god. They didn't have to wonder where the body was. LLR. What the heck?
There.
There was blood everywhere, a few arms of the splatter reaching toward them as they walked in through the door. All one had to do was follow the many radial arms to their source. The body itself was hidden behind a divider.
June, you should stay here.
But...
Please, just do me a favor, okay? Alright?
He didn't give her a chance to say no. He put his hand on her shoulder as if to shove her to the ground. Like a tent pole, turned and walked toward the end of the divider.
I'm going in.
It felt like it took an eternity for him to get there. Santa and Lotus followed, timid and nervous as a pair of children. Eventually, they reached the divider. They looked at one another and nodded slowly. Junpei put his hands on the divider and peered around the corner. For a moment, he forgot to breathe. He felt his heart collapse in his chest like an empty cigarette carton, and time froze. He knew in that instant that he would take the image before him to the grave. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast ragged hole had been torn in the torso, and what remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it.
Just like Ace said.
God. You can't see the body, obviously, but God. Santa's voice was strained. Junpei suspected he was having trouble holding down some vomit of his own.
Just like the 9th man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut.
It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful.
Oh god. The bone is coming out of his left arm.
It's definitely an open fracture.
No fucking shit. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces.
Oh, the face. It's horrible.
Yeah, you can't even tell who it is.
Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes too were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the grey slacks.
But the clothes are...
They were all familiar to Junpei.
No
Snake's
mistake about
clothes.
it. It's Snake.
God damn it. Lotus's voice was unnaturally deep and strained, and Junpei heard it catch in her throat. Damn. Even Lotus felt for him. Oh my god. The squeal of tortured metal made Junpei's teeth curl. It sounded like the noise a ghost would make. No matter how many times he heard it, he never got used to it. Every time it put him on edge. It didn't help that there was a girl nearby who looked far more like a ghost than a living human should. It was Clover. Oh, she sat on the edge of the bed, her head drooping listlessly onto her chest. Her eyes were blank and stared across the room at nothing. Her breathing was slow and mechanical. Aside from the rise and fall of her chest, she didn't move. Junpei felt as even a nudge might cause her to shatter into 1,000 pieces.
Snake was probably murdered.
Yep.
Chances are he was killed the same way the Ninth Man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3.
Yep.
Then they shoved him into it. Alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut.
At the same time, though, that would mean that the person who did this is the person who also fixed the reds, because the reds were broken during the search. So whoever fixed the reds has told someone, and then pushed Snake through the door.
Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who authenticated when they went in uses the dead. Snake was the only one who went through the door.
So he was screwed from the beginning.
And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in,
Boom.
that happened.
I see. So that's what you meant by killers, huh? You need at least 3 people to open one of the numbered doors, including Snake. It wouldn't open for Snake and a single killer.
Yeah. That means we're looking at multiple perps here.
Junpei crossed his arms and grunted.
Well, just in case, I want to make sure. Let's say you're right. When do you think Snake was killed?
When we all split up to look for the parts for the reds, I think. Right after that was when we noticed he was gone.
And then the reds were mysteriously fixed and nobody talked about it.
Then that means none of us have alibis. We were all off searching the rooms we'd been assigned, looking for those parts.
Yeah. That means anybody could be a killer.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
June seemed shocked.
How can you say that so casually?
It's true, though. There's no other option. There are only us on this ship. We've kind of gone through this already. Unless the corporations behind this game wanted to murder Snake for some reason, it had to be one of us.
You're implying that one of us is a killer.
No, he's implying that 2 of us are killers.
Well, not just one of us. If I'm right, then at least 2 of us are murderers.
Why don't you calm down a bit, Seven? What are you going to gain by being so suspicious? That's what Zero wants, you know?
At the same time, Seven's just come up with, like, the only logical explanation here. It's not being suspicious, it's the right explanation.
What Zero wants?
Exactly. This game was set up by Zero, wasn't it?
Yes.
Any game has a winner and loser. Whoever makes it through door 9 is a winner. And those who don't are the losers. Zero is trying to make us fight against one another for that victory.
So you think the Zero did it himself?
Then
Perhaps.
you're saying that Zero is trying to split us up by making us fight each other?
But he wouldn't kill a participant in the game. I don't think Zero's that kind of person. He likes to watch this happen, but he wouldn't just kill someone, robbing their chance at freedom for the sake of making the others fight. There has to be more of a motive behind it.
Yes, That is why we can't let ourselves fall prey to suspicion. We have to trust one another and form a strong bond of friendship. Otherwise, we'll end up ensnared by Zero's manipulations.
Then does that mean that the person who killed Snake...
Yes. Almost certainly Zero himself. If there's anyone we should doubt, it should be Zero. He masterminded this game and kidnapped all of us.
Well, in that case, shouldn't we believe Zero then? Because we're pretty much at his mercy. Doubting Zero is probably the stupidest thing you can do, given he holds all the cards.
Doesn't it seem reasonable that he would have killed Snake as well?
Why would he? What's the point? What does he have to gain? Junpei hadn't considered that.
If Zero killed Snake, then Zero is on the ship with us.
That's a point to make, but we've had no evidence that Zero has been on this ship with us aside from this incident. Junpei, was Zero still on the ship with them? Junpei wasn't sure, or of course. I'm gonna go with he wasn't. I'm not sure. I don't think he's on the ship. He wasn't sure.
Something's still strange.
What was that?
Well, I'm just wondering about one thing.
And what's that?
How can you be so sure that Zero's on this ship?
Yeah. Ace's eyebrows shot up.
Really, Junpei? I confess I'm a little disappointed. Usually you're rather sharp.
What the hell?
Isn't it obvious?
Wait, it is?
This ship.
Huh?
Zero said, "this ship," several times when he addressed us.
Okay. Yeah, but it could just be a pre-recorded message, dumbass. Yeah, I've heard that.
If he weren't here, he wouldn't say "this ship," would he?
That is the biggest stretch of logic I have ever heard. It could be a pre-recorded message.
He'd be saying something like, "that ship," or "the ship."
It could just be pre-recorded, you dumb...
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
You can't just put all your eggs in one basket because he said this instead of that or the. Ace's explanation made perfect sense. Junpei felt a little foolish he hadn't seen it himself. Still, he was left with a question, and it was one of no small importance.
If Zero's on the ship, where is he?
Somewhere. The silence was cold and clammy, and Junpei could feel it crawling across his back and around his throat. Again, he heard the ghosting moaning noise. And moments later, a person who looked more ghost than human appeared. Hi, Clover. It was Clover. She looked at the floor as she spoke, and her voice was cold and monotone.
I think Zero is one of us.
I would not be surprised if we're going down the Danganronpa route and the mastermind is one of the players, then, very high chance it is one of us. And it is something to think about. Every human body in the room froze. The only sound was the muffled rustling of breath. Eyes darted from face to face. One of those faces was the face of their jailer? But who? Was he one of them? I think it's possible.
Well, that's possible.
Huh?
Like Clover said, Zero might be one of us.
We have no way of knowing.
What are you saying, Junpei? Didn't you hear what Ace said?
Exactly. I said we shouldn't suspect one another for no reason.
At the same time, we can't deny every possibility.
No reason. I've got a great reason.
And what's that?
The bracelets.
Oh? He held out his left arm.
Why are the bombs in our bodies connected to the bracelets? You're all thinking Zero's hiding somewhere watching us, right? If he's doing that, then he could just detonate the bombs by remote control if someone did something they weren't supposed to.
Yeah, the game's entirely automated so that Zero doesn't need to watch us.
It would be a lot more precise and a lot easier. If that's the case, then why is the bomb set off by the detonator in the bracelet?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
You got a point.
Yeah, we got a point.
I'm not done. Try applying the same ideas to the Nonary game.
It's all automated.
All of the puzzles here run all by themselves. In other words, Zero doesn't have to be controlling them for the game to move forward.
Nope. Zero can just be sitting in a cushy little chair somewhere, not even looking at this game, sipping on a cup of tea, watching a newspaper, or he could be in the game himself, having set it all up so that when the game starts, he can do what he wants. And at the moment, I think Ace is probably the most suspicious of the lot. He's the only one at the moment who's been saying that you shouldn't be doubting each other, we shouldn't be getting suspicious of anyone, and the moment someone becomes suspicious that potentially Zero is one of them, or that someone is distrustful, he tries to shoot them down for no reason other than camaraderie. That's suspicious to me. In a situation where it is life or death, you need to apply and examine every possibility. Otherwise, you're fucked.
Why's that? Why would Zero bother to do something like that?
Junpei left the question hang in the air and looked at the others. It was Santa who answered.
So let's say you and Clover are right. Zero's one of us. If that's the case, then it'd be really hard for him to keep track of all of us or control anything remotely.
That's true.
That's why all the puzzles run by themselves. That's what you're getting at, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Junpei nodded.
7, when we were talking earlier, you said any one of us could be Snake's killer, right?
And that means one of us could be Zero.
Yeah, something like that.
Alright then. I've got a question for you, Ace. You said something like Zero must be the one who killed Snake, right?
Yes, something like that. I can't think of any other explanation.
And Zero must be one of us.
So what do we get if we combine those? They fit together pretty well, I think. Something like this. Whoever killed Snake is Zero. Hence, Zero is one of us. 7 and Ace's theories aren't mutually exclusive. They actually complement each other pretty well. At least they do if Zero is one of us.
No one spoke. Their faces were grim, but Junpei wasn't sure if they believed him or not. Finally, Lotus spoke up.
What were his motives?
His motives?
I still don't know.
Yes, isn't that pretty important? Why would Zero want to hide as one of us?
Oh, well, that's because...
That's a good point. There really isn't actually a reason, unless there's some motives we just don't know yet. Junpei joked. He hadn't thought of that, and he had to be honest with himself, he had no idea.
I don't know.
Lotus sighed.
Well, so much for making a persuasive argument, Junpei.
In other words, you only had circumstantial evidence.
I don't really think that's enough to go on, you know?
At the same time, I think one of us is Zero. I'm about 90% sure at this point, because Junpei wouldn't have gone through this giant tangent if one of us wasn't. But at the same time, I get where they're coming from. We need to find more evidence. Junpei was painfully aware of their eyes on him and their disapproval. He tried to find something else, anything else to look at. Then, in that horrible silence... Oh, fuck. They've got 3 hours left. Oh no.
It's 3 in the morning.
That means we have 3 hours left.
Then we need to move now. 7, Clover, Junpei. I know how you feel, but you do understand that right now it's important we trust one another, don't you?
Of course.
You're right, but...
Junpei couldn't bring himself to respond. He swallowed the words he wanted to say and sighed. 7 and Clover remained similarly silent. Their eyes were looking at something somewhere else, very far away.
We must go. We have very little time left.
Ace's words put their feet to moving. They all knew where they were going.
Our next destination is Mercury.
Alright, here we go.
But maybe you and June should check it out first and then report back to us.
All right, let's go, June.
Right.
Let's go.
Here it is.
It sat bolted to the wall near the stairs that led to the casino and the kitchen between the 2 elevators.
The Mercury card reader.
We're using the card 7 gave us, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I found it when we were checking out the shower room.
Okay, good
I
to
think
know.
7 said something like that. Anyway, let's see what happens.
Junpei slid the card through the reader. The light on the reader turned green and made a tiny electronic noise.
I guess the elevator works now.
Junpei, I know it's only the 2 of us, but let's do our best.
Of course.
What's with you all of a sudden?
Well, I'm happy we were put together.
As per usual.
You know it's just for searching E-Deck, right?
Even so, I'm glad I'm with you.
Aww.
Oh, first we need to find out if the elevator comes up full of water.
Just like we did before.
It won't. Why would it come up with water? No point. Yep, completely empty.
Oh, here it is.
I knew it. It's not wet at all.
Let's go.
Yes.
Once it had been checked for water, Junpei and June stepped into the elevator.
Look! Nearly all of the buttons are destroyed.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, only the seat and bottom button can be pushed.
Well, I guess we're going to the bottom button.
We're on C deck right now, so the only one we can choose is bottom.
Yeah. Well, let's try it out.
Junpei hit the bottom button. And down we go. Slowly, they began to move downward.
Oh, so this is the bottom deck.
They stepped off and saw that the hallway to their right ended somewhere between 20 and 25 feet from them. The hallway in front of them was a dead end, but not a regular dead end. Let me guess, numbered door?
Hey, over there.
The 2-door.
This is a numbered door.
Okay, so we've found 8 out of the 9 numbered doors. The only one we haven't seen is number 9.
This is the 8th one we found. There were 2 numbered doors on B deck near the central staircase.
Yeah.
They were doors 4 and 5. 3 more in the large hospital room, doors 3, 7, and 8.
And the door we found on E deck, and the door Lotus and Santa found on A deck. It was a 6 on the door on E deck, and a 1 on the door on A deck.
Yep. 4, 5, 3, 7, 8, 6, 1, and 2. The only one we haven't found is 9. Alright.
That means...
Do you think the next door we find?
Yeah, I think so. The next one's gonna be door 9.
Despite himself, Junpei felt excited. There was something about that excitement that frightened him as well.
Finally!
Yeah,
You don't look very happy about it, though.
it's not that. I just hope nothing goes wrong.
Oh, don't say that. Now everything's gonna go wrong. Everyone's gonna be dead. It's gonna be really annoying. Oh.
You're right. We should keep our fingers crossed.
Let's head back.
Okay.
He did his best to put it from his mind and headed back to C deck with June. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 7 pieces.
Huh? The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Oh. Everyone had written on paper, pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to pull together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
Why had they decided to vote that way?
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Santa. They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
All right, let's open these up. The first one says, Ace requests door 1.
Yes,
Okay.
I do. Would you like me to explain why?
It's your number.
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going.
He opened the second one.
Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Junpei continued with the third, fourth, and fifth pieces of paper.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Okay.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
Oh, get over it, Lotus.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But...
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
Oh!
I am not an exhibitionist. I'm wearing clothes.
Barely any, but still.
Barely.
So, last I checked, that's not a crime.
Maybe. But what about common decency? Nobody wants to have to look at a chick who looks like a half-naked raisin.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you!
I'm gonna leave them to their fighting. Lotus's hair flared out like the mane of an angry
not
lion.
good.
And she roared with a voice that shook the walls.
Let go! Let go of me! I'm killing him!
Okay, you can do that, it's fine. With some difficulty, Ace managed to restrain her.
Junpei, read the rest.
Right.
Junpei tore his eyes away and looked down at the sixth piece of paper. He opened it.
June wants door 6.
Okay.
Yes. I don't really have a reason. I just felt like it.
All of the papers, save Junpei's, had been read. He did some quick calculations in his head.
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1.
Okay. This was the door on A deck near the central staircase.
7 and Lotus requested door 2.
Okay, let me just make this clear. So Junpei is 5, right? So Ace is 1, Clover is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so he can go with Ace and Clover if he wants. 7 and Lotus wanted door 2. 7 obviously is 7, Lotus is 8, so that would be 15, which and if you add Junpei on, that would be 20. So Junpei can actually go with them as well. This was the door on the bottom deck and could be reached by taking the elevator to the bottom of the ship.
Santa and June requested door 6.
Yep, Santa and June requested door 6. Santa is 3, June is 6, that's 9. Plus 5 is 15. Wow! Junpei's literally set himself up in a position where he can go with anyone he wants. That's insane. God damn.
The door I should choose is...
It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened this other piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through...
Who do I want to go with? Clover and Ace, Lotus and 7, or June and Santa? I think I'm gonna go with... I've been sticking with Lotus this entire game. I'm gonna go with Lotus.
My choice is door 2.
Santa was unconvinced.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
Cheating?
I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Please be the right paper.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. As they did, Junpei quickly slipped the piece of paper he'd been hiding into his pocket. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switched the papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
For doors 1, 2, and 6.
And I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
Okay. He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted.
Good choice.
If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
What does it say, Santa? What does it say? He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
I love it. Right as that happens, my cat just meows from behind me. I'm getting a lot of background noise in today's video, which is a little bit annoying. Let me just do that. Okay. Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated.
Alright.
Someone had to have noticed that, though.
So
Come
we know
on.
who's going through door 2. That'd be me, Lotus, and Junpei.
7, 8 plus 5 is 20.
The only
Woo!
problem's the other 2 teams.
June and I want door 6.
Clover and I choose door 1.
Right, you need 3 people.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2.
Everyone was silent. Then suddenly, Clover spoke, her face blank and cold.
Why don't Santa and June go into door 1 with Ace?
Huh?
Well,
They looked at one another. 3 plus 6 plus 1 equals 10, yeah. If we add Clover's 4, that'd be 14. They could... Oh, okay, yeah, they really can't... They have to split up. Finally, Ace spoke.
Then what will you do, Clover?
I'll be waiting at the stairs. You guys are coming back here, right? That's what 7
yep.
was saying, wasn't it?
That had been what 7 said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the Nonary game works.
I'm sorry, but I just want to be by myself for a while.
I mean, she did just find out her brother is dead.
You understand, right?
There was no emotion on her face, but it was drawn and pale, and her eyes were red. No one had the heart to contradict her. The room grew very quiet. Silence drifted down over everything like a blanket of fresh snow. It was Santa who finally spoke.
all right. I'm going through door 1. That all right with you, June?
Yes.
June nodded.
Well, we'll be going then.
Let's move 2.
Let's go.
Right.
So we're going to door 2, did we decide on? Which is the one down by the elevator.
I won't see June for a while, but This was my choice. I'm just going to have to suck it up.
Yeah, suck it up, Junpei. You can do this. Man up.
7 said we'd all see each other again, and I'm going to believe that.
I feel like we're just going to come back and up and everyone's dead. He took strength from that thought.
The other group went to A deck to go through door 1.
Yep.
Clover joined them. Our group is on our way too.
Bottom deck.
We're heading to the bottom deck using the elevators. I wonder what we'll find down there.
Well, we're going to find out. Hopefully we didn't pick the hardest puzzle room to solve. They stepped off the elevator and headed for door 2.
We ready?
Yep.
Yeah, anytime.
I'll go first.
One by one, they put their palms onto the recognition device and 3 asterisks blinked to life on its screen. Here we go. And door 2 is opened.
Let's go!
The door opened, and they leapt inside. Let's find that dead.
Where the hell is it this time?
I don't see it!
Oh, there it is! It's right there!
Oh, thank God. Fortunately, it took them only moments to find the dead. It had been placed just inside the room, right next to the numbered door. They gathered around it and quickly scanned each of their bracelets. Whoa! Thank goodness.
It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped.
It never gets any easier, does it? Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs. 7 and Lotus were breathing hard and fast.
Man, I'll never get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
Damn right.
All right.
Junpei looked around again.
This hallway's pretty short, but it's got 5 doors. 3 on the left, and only 1 on the right.
Okay.
Don't forget the last one at the end of the hall.
But it's got a metal plate over it, so I doubt we're gonna get anywhere that way.
After taking a look around the room himself, 7 spoke.
Alright, let's get started. I think we'd probably better split up. You two okay with that?
Yes, no problem.
Alright, let's go.
Sure thing.
Then I'll take this first one.
7 nodded to them and stepped into the room closest to him.
I'll try
Alright.
the one next to it.
Okay. At last, Junpei was left alone.
Well, I guess I'd better get started too.
He looked intently at the remaining 3 doors. Oh damn, here we go. Well. In that case, let's get started. So, this is an escape the room segment all in itself, which is fun. Let's head in here. Alright, we've got a bed. It's a blanket, not a really great one, but still. Okay. This light's barely enough to see by. I feel like I'm gonna see a ghost or something. Okay, nothing important there. What's the deal with the lighting here? There's just this one beam of light. The rest of this place is too dark. I can't see anything. There's no way we can explore the rest of this room. Alright, so this room is a no-go. Let's take a look down. I thought of that and I tried a couple things, but yeah, same result. Okay, so we tried going through there as well. Guess 7 wasn't about to do anything. Oh well. Emergence. There are a bunch of tiles on the door that spell out emergence. Emergence. Maybe it means we need to emerge out of here? Either that or it's an anagram. Alright. What the hell's this supposed to be? Like a drawing of a whirlpool or something? Well, if I had to guess, I'd say it's trying to look like water. Huh. There's a little tile in the drain. Doesn't look like we're gonna be able to pull it out of there. Might have to use our heads on this one. Alright, let's figure this thing out. Any water? Nope. Doesn't matter how much 7 turns that thing, no water's coming out. Has the water been shut off from somewhere else? Okay. What about around here? Hello. A symbol on a toilet lid, huh? Seems a little fishy to me. It's a sun symbol, but it doesn't look like the ones on the doors. It looks like a more traditional one. A toilet. Pretty old school toilet. Guess that makes sense though. This ship seems pretty old too. Hey, this handle's pretty loose. Loose? You think it'll come off if you pull on it? Yes. It fell off. Huh, look at this. That handle doesn't really fit on the string. Maybe it wasn't meant to be attached to it. Alright, we've got a handle. Take a look at this handle. The inside of the hole's threaded. Like you're supposed to screw something in there. We've seen anything that might fit in there? Not yet. A toilet paper tube, huh? I seriously doubt I'm gonna need this for anything. What about this? Well, this is part is thinner than the rest. In fact, this doesn't really look like it's part of the rest of this thing. This rod feels loose. Maybe if I give it a couple turns? Here we go. Ah, this is making a screwdriver. Okay. So if I just stick this metal rod into the handle, we've made a screwdriver. Nice. Thank God it's the right kind of screwdriver for that screw. Awesome, we can totally use this. Damn, this screwdriver looks like a soldering iron. You'd think it's some sort of industrial grade screwdriver. Guess that doesn't really matter. We can unscrew any Phillips screws we run into. Alright. Let's take a look at the bed. There's a dirty blanket on the bed. Anything underneath it? Nope. Man, this is a mess. Not even a bed anymore. Can't say I want to sleep there. Okay. Was there anything over here we could unscrew? I don't remember. The towel stuck in the drain. Can't pull it out. Yep, can't. I know. Drawing on the mirror looks like kind of like a spring, so I assume that means get water, please. Locked. We need to use the screw. We need to use it on the screws right there. Yep. Sweet, got the screws off. Now we can open the drawer. There's nothing in here. Well, maybe the drawer's what we need. The drawer? Huh. Alright, let's yank the thing out. And now we're carrying a desk drawer. There's a bump on the back. I wonder what it's for. Maybe there's a hole somewhere, and these bumps line up with and trigger a hidden switch or something. Hey, we've seen weirder stuff. Doesn't seem that far-fetched. That's pretty true, actually. Good job, 7. Let's go see how Lotus's room is. Somebody made some wavy blue lines on this mirror with blue paint. Is that a drawing of a blue scarf? No, maybe not. Anything in the sink? Nothing. This drain is kind of a weird shape for a drain. You think they made it that shape for a reason, or just for fun? Okay. It's just hanging from the wall. Well, if we're pulling the string, then it must be a toilet that flushes. Moon. The moon symbol. What a filthy, disgusting moon. Yeah, it's pretty filthy, but it's a precious hint. Let's remember it, alright? The toilet is disgusting. You don't expect me to touch that thing, do you? If you don't want to, then I'll do it, alright? This paper seems to be pretty old. Ew, how the hell can you touch that? It's horrible. Well, it's not like I've really got a choice, do I? It's not like I want to. We're just kind of trying to survive. Okay. Ah. A towel. Ah, and this towel creates a pattern for both the mirrors. I have to wonder if their design means anything, though. Maybe you should consider what the design might be. Perhaps that'll give us a hint. It's like a waterfall or something. The bed looks cold, pretty sure you'd freeze to death in the winter. No kidding. If I tried to sleep here, my skin would dry out in no time. Well, it's not like you're that young anymore. That shouldn't really matter. My, Junpei, aren't you lucky? It seems you'll die before you have a chance to grow old and hideous. I'm sorry, you're right. Dry skin is a woman's worst enemy. 1 second, guys. Alright. So, nothing really over there. Is there anything in her desk drawer? Anything? There's nothing in the drawer. Yeah, something's not right, though. The handle on that drawer doesn't really fit, you know? It just looks messy. Why don't you take it out? Center room drawer. Can we whoa, hello. So there's a mirror on the other side of this drawer. Interesting. It's kind of an odd shape, but it looks like someone attached the handle with a screw after the fact. What if we combine the 2 drawers? Is that possible? No? Okay. So we've got 2 different drawers. We've got a mirror. Let me get the towel out. This looks just like a part of the design on the towel. Do you think that means anything? On the towel, it looks like water is flowing from the river to the spring. Do you think that means we need to make water flow from here? Oh. We need this handle right now. Can we combine with this? If I use the screwdriver on the screw on the center of the handle, maybe I can... There we go, we got a handle. Sweet, the handle I got off that drawer fits onto the faucet perfectly. Now I can turn the water on. Junpei, what are you doing? It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm running the water. I can see that. I'm asking you why you're just letting it run like that. Think about it, Lotus. This faucet didn't have a knob when we found it, right? What do you mean? Just watch. Anytime now. Hey, water's filling up. Doesn't that just mean the pipes are clogged? Whoops, let's turn it off for now. So, did anything change? The water stopped flowing. Thank you, Mr. Obvious. Ugh, Junpei, I'm leaving this one to you, alright? The sink is totally filled with water. Okay. I let the water pour into the sink with the river symbol over it, and it filled up. So what happened over at the spring mirror? Yeah, we should check the other side of the mirror. It filled up. Ah, so we could get the tile. Alright, let's search the tile. It's got these red, blue, and grey lines. What the heck does this stuff mean? Hell if I know. Oh. Junpei put the wet tile into his pocket. He was about to turn away when... there was a noise behind him.
What the?
He spun around to see Seven kneeling on the floor. Oh shit, is it like his amnesia or something? His face was rigid and pale. Droplets of sweat covered his forehead.
Hey, what's going on? Are you okay, man? You're sweating like crazy. Are you alright?
Shit. He was concerned. He'd never seen Seven like this before. Slowly, the other man lifted himself to his feet on shaky legs. Shit. You're alright, Seven. You're okay. Just breathe, man. Breathe.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little dizzy, that's all.
Fair enough. His face was pale and his breathing was heavy. Sweat was pouring off his face and staining his shirt.
That's definitely more than just a little dizzy.
Yeah.
Are you sure? You don't look so good.
Seven didn't answer. Come on, Seven, just breathe. Just breathe. Half of his face was twisted. As if distorted by extreme pain. Finally, he spoke.
What am I doing here?
Oh god, is he having an existential crisis?
Huh?
His words made no sense.
What are you talking about? We opened the number 2 door and walked in here. Don't tell me you forgot.
No, that's not what I mean.
He shook his head several times as if trying to clear something from it.
It ain't much, but I think some of my memories came back.
Okay.
I think I've been here before.
What?
Huh?
I said I've been in this room before.
How has he been in this room before?
You were here? When? Why?
Aoi. Like Nona.
Names? Suddenly, Seven was mumbling to himself. There were words Junpei didn't understand. They're definitely names. Those are names. I know Aoi is a name at least. Seven's hoarse voice trailed off, and Junpei couldn't make out what he'd said.
What the hell was that?
Seven's brow Let me take a deep breath. Seven's brow furrowed furiously, and he ground his teeth back and forth.
It's right there.
Come on, Seven, you can do it.
I feel like I'm this close to remembering everything, but I just can't.
Seven stomped, frustrated. He pulled his hat off and ran a hand through his hair. Then suddenly he looked up, his eyes wide.
That's right, an experiment. There was some kind of experiment going on this ship.
1 second, guys. It's official, guys. Movistar Telephone Company is Zero. They are trying to keep me from solving this puzzle. It's really annoying. They keep phoning my phone. Stop phoning me, Movistar. Okay. Well, there was an experiment going on this ship, apparently.
An experiment? What sort of experiment?
They were trying to control people.
What?
Or something like that.
Well, come on. Keep it up, keep it up.
What the hell are you talking about?
Junpei didn't know what to make of Seven's story. Instead, he simply stared as Seven continued.
Aoi, Light, and Nona, those were their names. Well, some of them. The kids that were in the experiment, I mean.
Okay.
I think there were 4 or 5 more. but I don't remember all their names.
Crap. Okay, come on. You can do this. You can do this. Just breathe. For a moment, just breathe.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I'm here.
7 began to mumble to himself and wander aimlessly about the room. So he's got a past with this place. He's got a past, and that would explain why he's amnesiac, I guess, because he knows more than he lets on. So I'm inclined to believe him. He looked confused. So far, as Junpei could tell, the man was simply rambling and there were odd twitches to his movements.
Experiment. Cradle Pharmaceuticals.
Well, that's a weird name.
Those kidnapped kids. Was I working that case?
7 continued to mumble to himself about things that meant nothing to Junpei. Is he a private investigator? Was I working that case? He talks about perps. He's definitely got a background in at least being a detective or an investigator. Clearly. Anyone can see that.
Huh?
Junpei didn't have any answers for him, of course. He couldn't understand what was happening to 7. All he could do was wait. After a few minutes, 7 finally stopped.
Wait, under this bed.
Huh? He crouched down and looked under the bed. His face registered mild surprise and he began to mumble himself again.
The home's gone? No, maybe it was a different room. There's gotta be a ton of rooms on this boat that look just like this one.
At last, Junpei could contain himself no longer.
Hey, what exactly do you remember? Maybe you could stop talking like a crazy person and tell me what's going on here.
7 stood up slowly.
Well, it's not like I really remember everything.
Just tell me what you know, man, come on.
I've only got bits and pieces, and they're scattered and don't make much sense.
I don't care. Tell me the bits and pieces then.
Junpei could feel it. Whatever 7 had remembered, it was important. Very important.
Okay.
7 drew a large muscled hand down across his face. As he wiped the sweat from his brow, he spoke.
From what I can remember, I think I was a cop.
I figured.
A cop?
Yeah. I was looking for that group of kids that got kidnapped 9 years ago.
9 years ago, a group of kids got kidnapped. Okay.
You remember that, right? It was all over the news.
Yeah, I was still in school. I don't remember all the details, but I do remember some of it. I think it was a bunch of kids right around my age. They all just disappeared. Nobody knew why.
Yep.
It was all over TV and the newspapers every day.
Okay. Was it Danganronpa, 16 boys and girls? Come on. I'm kidding.
So you're saying you were investigating it?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And I guess I found something.
Okay.
There was this medical company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals that had something to do with those kids. After I figured that out, I managed to get some information out of somebody who worked for them. I think it was...
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, that had to been it. That's why I went to the war.
Oh, damn. He's literally like... gun, prepared, whoa.
In the shadows, I searched the harbor until I found the ship he was talking about. There was a bunch of movement near it. Men in black suits, many of them carrying large bags.
Probably containing children.
Bags. There was something about the way they moved as they were carried. No doubt about it. There were human beings in those bags.
Oh, God.
I moved before I realized it. I came out of hiding with my gun already in my hand.
Don't move.
I felt metal touch the back of my head.
Drop the gun.
Shit.
He kept digging the cold metal thing into my skull. There was nothing I could do. Did what he said and laid my gun on the ground. Then suddenly...
Whack.
There was a sharp pain in my neck. A needle.
Oh.
A drug. That was my last thought. My face hit cold concrete. I was out like a light after that.
Damn. He got completely wrecked.
I woke up on a hard floor. Damn it. Shit, my head hurts. Where am I?
Oh, and he woke up in the room that... one of the rooms that we're in right now.
A small, shabby bed, a dirty sink, a toilet with no privacy. I'd seen it countless times as a cop. I'm in a cell, huh? Facing the toilet was a door set into the wall. I was still pretty woozy, but I made my way over to it.
Alright.
I pushed and pulled on it, but... it won't open. Not like I expected much else. Would be dumb enough to put me in a cell and leave it unlocked.
Pretty good point.
Threw myself against the door a few times, but it wouldn't budge. I knew it. I gave up and made my way back to the bed, and sat down. I sat there for a very, very long time. Who knows how long.
And then...
Then, I heard a faint voice.
For a second, I thought that was coming from outside, but damn. That was a really good voice clip.
The voice was far away. I couldn't understand what it was saying, but I could hear one. It was pretty high, probably a little kid. Oh.
Yep, somebody's screaming. God, that is a really good voice clip, holy fuck.
No, it was several. I hear 5, or 6, maybe more. Where? Where are they coming from? I pressed my ear to the wall and tried to listen through it. No, that's not it.
Not the wall.
Left. It's coming from under the bed?
Under the bed?
I hauled on the metal frame and flipped the thing over. And there it was. The bed had hidden an air vent under it. The hole in the wall was covered by a metal grate. I dropped flat on the floor and peered through the grate. I couldn't see shit, but I knew it in my gut. This was where those voices were coming from. Hold up. Why are there kids here?
Well, you were investigating a kid case.
But then what my inside man told me popped into my head.
Tonight, a ship is set to take the children to a large passenger liner docked offshore.
So what that means is that he's on the passenger liner, so he was on the ship that we are on right now.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Am I on that ship? It didn't matter. All I knew was I had to get to those kids.
Let's go.
I checked out the metal grate. Could I fit? I stuck my fingers in and grabbed it. And then...
There we go.
Yeah! How do you like that, you son of a bitch?
Oh, 7.
I finally got the damn thing off. Sweat was dripping down my face. So I wiped it off and crawled inside.
And? I'm guessing that's where his, memories end. Junpei waited for 7 to resume his story. The longer he waited, however, the clearer it became that 7 had no intention of doing so. He had gone silent and simply stared off into the air, his eyes blank.
Hey, what happened after that?
He'd waited long enough, but 7 shook his head.
I don't remember what happens after that. I think I found some kind of door out of the duct, and I think I found some kids too.
Okay.
Not good. Why can't I remember what happened next?
Ah, man, what happened to the kids, 7? Did you save them?
I don't know. I don't know if it was me.
God damn.
I've got this feeling. I think one of the kids died.
Oh, God.
A girl, I think.
Huh?
Deep in his heart, Junpei felt something very cold. 7's head dropped, and Junpei saw on it a look of sadness, the likes of which he had never seen on the man before. The large man's eyes blinked rapidly, as if he were fighting back tears, and he swallowed hard. His sigh was like the melancholy setting of an old abandoned building. He shook his head and spoke.
Anyway, just please don't ask me anymore, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I think we got more out of him than I thought we would.
I really don't remember anything else.
After that, Junpei could hardly try to force any answers out of the man.
It's fine. Don't push yourself. Going by what he said?
Junpei left 7 to pull himself together and instead began thinking everything over.
The children who had been kidnapped 9 years before, apparently a company called Cradle Pharmaceuticals had been behind it all.
Okay.
They'd taken the children to the same ship we're on now. They'd been brought here for an experiment.
The Nonary Game, potentially.
Something to do with controlling human beings.
Because there was one thing that struck me as odd. When 7 was listening to the voices of the kids, one of them said something about the number 9. Could they have been playing the Nonary Game prior to us playing the Nonary Game? And that would explain how the ship is refurbished for 0. It could have already been refurbished for these kids in the past. But at the same time, it doesn't explain why we're playing the Nonary Game again if that is the case. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but it makes sense as to why one of the kids' voices said the number 9. There'd be no other reason. I don't know.
The 16 children who had been kidnapped were the subjects. 7 had said 3 of their names were Aoi, Light, and Nona. I think that's all I got. Oh, and 7 is, or was at some point, a cop. I can't really use any of this information anyway. I didn't learn anything about the Nonary Game or Zero. Why were we brought to the same ship where they'd done those experiments 9 years ago?
Who knows?
And just what the heck is this about controlling human beings? That's nuts. Did they really conduct an experiment like that?
Before long, Junpei realized he had spent quite some time deep in thought.
I don't have time to just stand here thinking. I need to get moving.
Junpei shook his head quickly to clear it and returned to his investigation, thoughts swirling in his mind. Alright, well, guys, with that, I think we're going to end the episode off here. In the next episode, we're going to finish this Escape the Room segment, and we're going to try and find out the truth about the Nonary Game. I'm very, very, very suspicious, but I think it's going to be interesting nevertheless. If you're enjoying the series so far, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to play the Nonary game yourself, take a look at the amount of views on the video and find the digital root of the number you see and see what character you end up as. And don't forget to upvote if you're on VidMe. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.